This is Prince from Hollis Crew Studios. We have a guest in the studio tonight. His name is Samuel Exum. He's out of Goldsboro, North Carolina. He's a playwright, and he attends
Stone.
Livingstone College in Salisbury, North Carolina. What do you do for a living?
Currently, I am a full-time student working towards my accounting degree. I graduated in May. It's 2014, and I plan on pursuing my graduate degree in theater management.
What would you describe what you do? How would you describe that?
Artistic. You have to be original. You have to have some type of imagination. I like theater. Right now, theater, especially in the black community, is dead. So I'm trying to revive it because at one point in time, it's all that the black community had to uplift themselves. So I just want to see it live again.
Right. What does your work entail?
Right now, I'm directing plays. So, I mean, sometimes I find myself doing things, sweeping up shops, building sets, directing people, telling them how they should do their part, how I feel they should do their part. It's an all around theater. Right now, I'm the producer, the director, the stage manager, the house manager. I mean, it's just full of life right now.
Busy. Busy.
Right.
What's a typical work week for you?
Typical work week. Monday, I go to class first off, go to work, and then when I get into what I do, it's head on putting up your sound, putting your sound together for your rehearsals, ordering food for the cast to stay because you know they want to leave if they hungry.
That's right.
they been smoking, they got the munchies or something. I mean, I just be realistic with mine. You feel me? But
That's right.
My cast, they're dedicated to what they do, so I just tell them, you know, it's we're getting the job done.
Now, how did you get started?
Stumbled into it. I started off in theater. I've been an accounting major since high school. I did accounting in high school. I was a bookkeeper at Food Line. But when I came to Livingstone, I was misadvised.
Right.
They threw me in classes. I came kind of late, so they said this is what we have open. You either gonna be a full-time student and you can stay here, or you can do what you want to do and get out. The classes that were open were theater classes.
Right.
So I picked them up, started flickering with lights, reading scripts, and I started to feel it and just took off with it.
Grabbed from there.
Right.
That's right.
Taking nothing, flipping breakers, you know, lighting. It can people think that it's like, oh, so quick, like, oh, this light comes on, it's computers and this and that. But not what I'm working with. I'm working with breakers, plugs,
right,
switches, just to get the show done. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. What do you like about what you do?
What I like about it is, for one, I'm leading, and I don't have anybody over me telling me what to do.
So you the boss.
I like being the boss.
What do you dislike about it?
The loyalty and the commitment of the entertainment is an in and out field. People think they think they want something, they gonna step into it. Oh, this ain't what I want. I've been training a girl how to do a part since August last year.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, she only has like 13 lines in the whole play. 2 weeks ago, I don't think I can do this. It's too stressful, and you know. So, I think change in that field and actually having to go out and find people.
Right.
That's what I dislike the most about it. The people that are not committed to the arts.
How do you make money or compensate for what you do?
Find sponsors, find ways of reimbursement. You know, to reimburse myself. Hold on to my receipts. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Everything I do right now, I'm paying for out of pocket, but I know when showtime goes up, tickets are sold, it needs to come back home.
Right. Tell me a little bit about this play. What's the name of the play?
The play is entitled On Stryver's Road. It was written in the 1940s by Abraham Hill. He's deceased now. He passed in the late 1980s. The play is basically about a family in Harlem. They're going through the Harlem Renaissance period, and they want to hold their famous doctors and lawyers and attorneys, and they want to hold their ground in Harlem. But right at this period in time, Harlem is going through a phase of drug infestation. Cocaine is being introduced. So you have your hookies and your drunks up the street, but you have your doctors and lawyers on this one block, and they're trying to entertain for their daughter's debut a pack of society blacks. They are, like I said, doctors, lawyers, attorneys, businessmen, and they are trying to have the family of this house their name is the Van Stryvens.
Right.
This occurs on this is an actual location in Harlem to this day, Stryver's Road.
Right.
So they're having a debut. Their daughter's turning 18. She's being introduced to the society of doctors and lawyers, and they want her to enjoy herself, but she has fallen for a guy who's just up the street. Just, he's not accepted into their society.
Right.
So her mother's best friend finds out about the party, and she basically calls everybody and tells them not to come. And she also hires people to come in and trash the party. So it's drama, it's a satire, comedy. It's basically the lower income class, a show for them to make fun of the people that were holding them down. Their own people in those days were holding them down, telling them they couldn't be this, they couldn't come here, they couldn't do this.
Black people.
Black people holding other black people back. The only reason why this show is not known is because at this point in time when it was written, white society who was on Broadway didn't want to see affluent doctors, lawyers. They wanted to see a Raisin in the Sun. They wanted to see a man struggling, trying to pay bills. These people, they're struggling. At this point in time, it's something coming up like a recession. However, they're not struggling. They have mansions.
Right.
They have careers, occupations.
What education and schooling or skills are needed to do this?
For one, people skills. For one.
People skills.
Because when you black, dealing with blacks, I don't care where you're from, but it's something that jumps out at you that says, if something doesn't go your way, you want to be down somebody's throat.
Right.
You have to handle your cast, you have to handle your crew, you have to handle your stage management. So I think that's for number one. Those are things that are not necessarily, you don't have to get them from being in school.
Right.
It's something that's here. Patience is what
Right.
I feel. But when it comes to an actual education, drama courses, literature courses, humanity courses, they're necessary because when you start to learn about how the different forms of theater and the things that they're doing, how they impact the crowd that's watching it.
Right.
I think you can get the best out of drama courses. Intro to theater is one. It definitely needs to be taken.
Okay.
Anybody going into entertainment, I feel like should take intro to theater.
Right.
Okay.
What is most challenging about what you do?
There's a demand for it. There's a demand for the entertainment, but there's not a big push on the financing.
Right.
So you don't go out and tell people you're doing this and you have a bunch of people behind you. I have people working with me that are actually at my institution that say you're crazy for doing the things that you're doing right now.
Right. So no back.
No backing. When you step out here, there's no backing for you at all. You're doing your own thing with this.
Right.
But if you stick to it, I believe now April 10th through the 12th will tell and prove. I believe that if you stick to it and do it, it's going to be done because at the end of the day, people want to be entertained. They want to see this. And the thing about it is we are failing ourselves because we are the only black people. We're the only race that can play both sides of the fence.
Correct.
We could take a white play and do it, or we can take our own plays written, as such as the one I'm doing now,
Right.
and produce it, run the show. We can do either or. So a white man can't come into your block and play. He can't. A white crowd could not do what I'm doing now with this play.
Right.
It just wouldn't happen. You can't put a white man on stage, Asian, any other, and say Arab hell for God's sakes. You can't put them on stage and say, oh, these are black lawyers. The crowd doesn't want to see that.
Right.
If you say black, they want to see black people.
They want to see black.
Now, any other thing, sugar, all these other things that we have going on, we can feel them rose like nothing. But we fail to realize that because we have that crab in a bucket mentality that
fast as one get up, the other one.
It's so global in America, right?
Right.
So,
what is most rewarding for you about this project?
The thrill of having practice, going through rehearsals, and having my cast dedicated to me and what I'm doing, and they they actually see and feel what I'm doing and what I'm trying to get accomplished, what we are trying to get accomplished. That's the thrill of it. At the end of the day, I don't have to make a dime off of this. I put my own personal money out on this.
Right.
So it's the thrill to me is to just prove, basically defy the odds and say we got this done. That's the thrill to me.
Right.
I guess the shit on my haters. And I don't know if that's correct for the interview, but that's a reward for me to prove, that you can take nothing and make something out of it.
Correct.
Right.
You can learn from a baby.
Exactly.
What advice would you offer someone considering this career of theater?
Negativity, negative crowds, negative anything, negative energy. It's a positive to you, but you have to keep it at a distance because you can't let people get in your ear. You can't let people tell you what you want to do.
Right.
You can't listen to people when you have a vision or a goal. You can't let people the entertainment world is global. Everybody wants to see their own image on television, but at the end of the day, it's
that one a little bit. What are some common misconceptions people have about what you do?
People believe, they had a perception that it's easy, that it's just something that can be done overnight, and that people actually have the conception that it's an easy way out as far as career goes, as far as especially degrees. People have the perception that theater can be based on the same thing. You got your theater, your PE, you
Right.
know. People think that they're so easy, simple,
Right.
you know, but they don't understand the complexity of proscenium theater or a black box theater or just the different concepts, things like stage right, stage left,
Right.
you know, lighting. They just think that it's something that just can be done.
Just snap your finger and appear like.
Right.
Yeah.
And read this and read that and we good. No, it's the art. It's body language.
Right.
Non-verbal, verbal.
Right.
Non-verbal counts how much? Over 50% more.
Correct.
You know, than what verbal does.
Exactly.
So I guess the perception that people have over my career is that it is one of the most simplest careers, most easiest things to get in and out of college doing, but that's totally wrong. If you have passion for it.
Right.
Now, without passion, yeah, it's easy to go and Google who Michelangelo or Leonardo DiCaprio was, what they did, who painted what. It's easy to do that.
Right.
But if you have the passion for it and you want to learn it and then you want to demonstrate it, that's a totally different story.
Correct.
And I'm an accounting major with a minor in theater arts, and that's more difficult than any accounting course I've ever taken.
That's right. Can you tell what are some of your career goals and your dreams for the future?
I would like to see myself with the organization, young Americans, just, you know, being able to come through whatever program I initiate and start off if they're interested in technical directing or acting or producing. I want to be able to give them the feel for this. And I'm talking about young Americans who are lower class, who don't have the option to do these things in their neighborhood community or their neighborhood programs.
Right. So helping the youth.
Right. That's a benefit for me, because I feel like when I was growing up, I all this was a blur to me. Life was a blur.
Right.
But right now, when I'm at 25, it's like, damn, what could I have been introduced to? What could I have been doing? What kind of programs could I have been through to be able to sustain my family or sustain the future? Right now, we're not preparing the youth to sustain the future.
Right.
And that's a downfall for us, especially my generation, because young adults going into this thing of, you know, older generation, you're getting older. But what are you doing? What are you showing? What are you displaying?
Right. What else would you like to say to the people about your career?
That I love it. And if you come to anything that has my name on it, you will enjoy yourself.
Okay.
You will enjoy yourself.
And you say your show is going to be where?
Livingstone College, Salisbury, North Carolina. It's in the Tubman Little Theater, April 10th, 11th, and 12th, 7:30 p.m. sharp. Do not be late.
Okay.
I have a great cast. When I say I assembled a great cast, they're on point. They like what they're doing on the stage, and we have a great show for you.
What's the number of cast you have?
16.
16 people. And this is your...
Including myself, I actually act. Anyway.
Is this your first project?
It's my first project that I'm directing. I have been stage manager, I have been sound technician, I have acted and played before. But this is my first project that I'm doing, directing.
And when would you be completing your degree?
May 3rd at 11 o'clock a.m. 2014.
Okay, so this show this play that you're putting on is part of your...
it's my directing course.
Okay, it's part of your curriculum.
Right.
You need this to graduate.
Right.
So you got to
you know this is in here.
So it's in the heart.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You know
I
it's in
feel
here.
you.
You know it's in
I
here.
got you. Well, it was good speaking to
You
you,
too.
and thanks for coming by the studio.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
I appreciate this.
That was Sam Exum from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Check him out.
Stravers Row, April 10th, 11th, 12th, 7:30 sharp, Salisbury, North Carolina. Livingstone College. Come out, support.